Alright, Salakia. It is the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. I'm gonna start off at verse 1. Talking about that northern quarters, Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech, and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Alright, now you're talking about the actual people from Magog, because as we know, man, Esau would take down these nations and become those nations. So that when it says, set that face against Gog, it's talking about the land of Gog, which is Russia, right? These modern day Russians. That's Esau right there. So the man set that face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech, and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even the great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And you have to realize this, man, back in the Soviet Union, which is Russia, all right, back then, going back to the Cold War and World War II, the Soviet Union was a fierce nation. It was a mighty nation. It was a great military. Great military. It had great military might. It was very powerful. You couldn't take it down. All right, going into the World War II, it's like World War I, I believe it was. Yeah, Germany said to send their military on the Western Front and the Eastern Front, but they couldn't take down the Eastern Front because Russia was too powerful. So basically, when it says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horsemen, those hooks into the jaws, bringing them forth," it's talking about Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, putting that old spirit back on Russia, to get that back into that mighty war spirit for World War III. All right, here it is, man. You had an article on it's like commercials on the military, the Russian military, man. It's all about masculinity. The join the army campaign ads that they got established here in America. It talks about pride, about women's rights, and no, that's not what military was before, back in the day. Because this country is about confusion. So digressing back, verse 5, and Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. The Persians, Ethiopians, and Libya are all coming with them, man, for that war. Gomer and all these bands, and if I'm correct, the children of Gomer are the modern day Turkish people. And all these bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, because that certain area around there in Central Asia is known as the northern quarters, and they have formed an alliance. All right, that's why Taliban came about in control. So these other nations around about it could set an alliance with Taliban, and the Afghan forces have no other choice but to join them along with them. And Russia is going to be a part of that. Russia being the big country and being put into that back into that mighty war spirit, they're gonna defend them, and they're gonna take down Esau, because these small heathen countries can't take down Esau. That's why they brought Russia along, because with them they could take down America. Be thou prepared, and prepare thyself thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia shall be a guard unto them to protect them. After many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. So that's talking about the alliance, man. They're forming for World War III. That's gonna be a terrible, terrible day then, man. I want to give out Isaiah the 9th chapter. I'm almost done. Isaiah 9 and 5. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it, to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, ever, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. So this is war to end all wars once it destroys the people, man. And you know, there's going to be a war in heaven. That war in heaven is going to take place, which is the chariots, you know, against the heathen, you know, Esau Edom, the great red dragon. NATO and the EU are going to come about as well, and they're not going to prevail, you know. And after that, you know, after that World War III and the missiles and the fire hits, you know, that's when the Yahweh Shai comes down and establishes the kingdom, you know. Revelation 11 and 4. 14, Salakia. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Alright, because the word woe means destruction. And if you look into the history, man, it was great death and destruction back then. And it's going to be worse again. You know? The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the scriptures say, man, wars used to be fought, you know, with confound noise and swords, man, but this time it shall be with fire. Because they're going to drop bombs and stuff. You know, these nations are going to throw the ICBMs during World War III into America the Great. You know? Lastly, I would like to give out the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter, and 7 and verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. It's talking about, you know, these chariots and you know, Esau Edom and the heathens, you know. Michael and his angels fought against a dragon. The dragon is known for his fierceness. And, you know, NATO being the beast, it's known for his fierceness, man. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not, neither was their place found in any more in heaven. You know? So here it is, man. We're prophesying the downfall of this wicked kingdom, that there's going to be a war, World War III. And that shall be like it, man. And we're prophesying destruction of Babylon the Great by way of that war, and as well as the heathens, man. And they shall beat their pruning hooks and pruning hooks and their plowshares. It's like their spears and the pruning hooks and their swords and the plowshares. It's like it. All right. So then there shall be no more war. There shall be peace when Yahweh Shai comes back. Anyways, I hope this video was edifying. Lord, we will continue to push. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father. And I want to be on Son Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Harach HaKodash. Alright, double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well and taught us 100% truth. Much peace and blessings be to you. Hopefully, like out there, preaching out this word with all truth and sincerity. Shalom.